Hi Gemini, this is your forecast for the month of December 2016. This is a general reading for Gemini Sun, Gemini Rising, or Gemini Moon. If you have a different rising or moon sign, you might find watching those videos helpful or more informative for you. Please remember that these are general readings, and so they may not apply to everyone. If you would like a personal reading that is specific to you, please visit my website at thealchemistastrologer.com, provided on the link at the upper corner. If you have visited my site before, you'll need to clear your browser's cache for the schedule button to function properly. And Gemini, I want to thank you for taking some time out of your life and spending it with me. So this first week of December, you are possibly out of sorts on some level. Maybe you're dealing with some financial difficulties, or perhaps you're under some type of strain, either, as I said, financially or with regard to your health. There's a sense of uncertainty, or maybe you've overextended yourself in some way. For some of you, you're experiencing some kind of worry or setback. You may feel as if you've been rejected with regard to something, or that you've been left out. Some of you may be dealing with cold weather. But whatever it is, this is a week where a couple of things are just not going to go as you had hoped or you had planned. So your situation this week could be a little bit complicated with regard to your emotions and your material concerns. And those two things could be woven together, making it more complex. So the more you are emotionally upset by a situation, the greater the possibility that this is going to undermine your health, your well-being. Perhaps because you're distracted, you have an accident, or you have a close call. Maybe you escape something in just the nick of time. But this could also be a week where you come to some understandings and you learn some type of spiritual lesson, because this is basically a card that speaks of doubt, uncertainty, a lack of faith, and perhaps being spiritually lacking in some way. So this could be a week where you actually learn a valuable lesson and realize that you're not as bad off as you think. There is help available to you. There is support, whether you recognize it or not. So you may come to find out that something you're involved with is not costing you as much financially or with your time as it could have, because you've learned this lesson. This is also a good week for you to look after yourself, pamper yourself, take care of you. This could be a week where you feel as if there are a lot of demands being placed on you, especially with the people that are closest to you, your loved ones, your family members, your friends. This is a warning, though. This card tells you to be very careful about your physical safety, your finances. And so taking any risk at all could bring about some kind of consequence for you that's difficult for you to deal with. So be careful this week with how you spend your money, where you are. Be careful on the internet. We're in the holiday season, which is ripe for theft. So just be careful this week. This would not be the time for you to borrow or loan out any money. And again, things don't seem to be going your way. You could experience some kind of a delay in situations. You're trying to do something, get something off the ground, and there's just one challenge after another that comes up. So everything is going to feel like it's a burden. It's more challenging than it has to be. If you've been sick, it could be difficult for you to get the kind of care that you need. Maybe you can't find the right doctor, or you can't get the appointment. And so the burden of trying to get the care becomes just as annoying as whatever illness that you're going through. This could be a week where it's very easy for you to blame your problems, in your work life. You blame those on your personal life. Maybe you're blaming your family or your friends for interrupting you, or perhaps vice versa. Maybe, you're taking things out on your family and friends because you feel pressured at work. So be careful of that. This is, again, a week for you to try to take care of yourself as much as you can. Look after you. Try to find some happiness, some laughter, some enjoyment. Be careful about taking a risk. Maybe there's something that you're trying to work on and you're trying to put it out there, but you're feeling as if you're constantly being blocked. So this would be a week, again, it's a warning to be careful of your finances, your health, and take some time out to take care of you. Now, the second week of December, it seems as if you are moving on from something. Maybe you've had it. Some things didn't go your way. You were disappointed. Maybe there was a rejection. Now you're moving on from that situation. Something was not emotionally fulfilling for you, and you've reached a turning point, and you're headed off somewhere, and you may not know where that somewhere is. You just know it's better than where you've been. You feel a weariness with what has happened before. So maybe you're moving on from a difficult situation. You're rejecting something that doesn't serve you anymore, and you're moving on to some new interests. Now, some of you, this could be as simple as a job change. Maybe you lost your job, or there was a rejection and you're moving on from that. You're moving on to a new relationship. You're changing your job, or you're relocating. But whatever it is, you're leaving this unsatisfactory situation behind, and something that you were involved in and felt emotionally disappointed in, that is now declining. Again, there could be issues of rejection, abandonment. And so this is a week where you are coming to terms with something, and this new sense of reality is going to help you gain some inner balance and find your sense of purpose, because this is a week where you have decided that you want to do your own thing. You want to make your decisions. You want to blaze your own path, and you want to move forward with regard to your own life. So anything that's been holding you back, anything that has been stifling you in any way and keeping you from making progress, you're ready to push that aside. And so this could very well be a week where you might save a project or take charge of a situation, or if need be, walk away from something, some habit, a situation, or relationship that has been undermining your progress. For others of you, because there is a sense of uncertainty with this card, you don't know where you're headed. Maybe you don't even know what you want. This is a week to get clear about that. Because of any disappointment, rejection that you may have felt in the previous week, you could be really being hard on yourself, giving yourself, berating yourself, criticizing yourself. And whatever you have found out, whatever truth that has come out, you may feel a real difficulty in dealing with it, and more so than you expected. And this may be a week where you decide to go off on your own. But if you are alone, it's only because you decided that yourself. This is largely self-imposed. So this could be a week where, depending on your situation, you're moving on, and you could feel exhilarated about it. You may feel like you want to break out of a routine and anything that's been holding you back. So freedom is very important for you this week. For others of you, you're having difficulty with what has come out, and it's difficult for you to move on, and you need to let go. So you could be either having trouble with making a commitment, or maybe there was a wrong decision. Maybe you realized that you were chasing after something that was a false ideal for you, and you're moving on from that and making some changes. Now, the third week, you have this Ten of Swords. So you're at the end of a cycle, but there's still a feeling of bottoming out, some kind of victim mentality. Now, again, if you were suffering from an illness, this could be a situation where you're maybe dealing with surgery, or the illness is more serious than you had thought. This could be a week where there's an actual separation. You're moving on and it's final. You're letting things go. But there is a feeling of hitting bottom, and maybe you just decided to stop struggling with whatever it is and give up and surrender. But there is an ending this week. This is a number 10. You're at the end of a cycle. And so what you need to understand is that even though you may feel as if you've hit the bottom, because you have, there's nowhere else to go but up now. So this could be a week where you feel a little bit overwhelmed, like things are happening either one of two ways. Either everything is rushing over you and you're having trouble with it, or you're at a standstill and nothing is moving at all. And because of it, given your circumstances, you really feel maybe overburdened and victimized. You feel stabbed in the back, and as if you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. So again, this is working against your better health, your mental state, your physical state. Just know that this card, because it's the end of difficult times, success could very well be right on your horizon. It's always darkest before the dawn. So if you have been dealing with some kind of loss, setback, disappointment, rejection, this could be when that opening occurs. If you notice on the card, there's a lot of black sky, but just at the bottom, we see the sunlight breaking through. So the key is to try to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, get going again, and try to get your attitude, the way you're looking at things, to help you get your situation back on track. This is not the time to surrender, to quit. In fact, this is the time to take that extra push to cross the finish line. So this is a week where being in denial, avoiding your responsibilities, your duties, works against you. So you're having to take a second look at a situation now, and you're really at a better advantage, because now you can make the distinction between what was working before, or what was not working before, and how to repair that. You can clearly see what the flaws are in your situation. Some things that you weren't aware of before, you now recognize, and it gives you the ability to take some resourceful action that can actually give you that push to succeed, and possibly push you further than you had even expected. Now, for many of you, things have hit bottom, so you're going to have to work harder to, pick yourself up, redirect your focus, your ambition, your motivation, your sense of purpose. It may be difficult for you to rejuvenate something, but be careful of being just too quick to assume that everything is lost, it's all a wash, and you start cutting ties, burning your bridges, closing chapters, just because things haven't been going your way thus far. So this is a week for you to, take on a new perspective. You may get some new information, or you maybe have a greater sense of self-awareness about you. So this is a time for you to come up with some new plans and think outside of the box to make something happen. Now, the last week you have the High Priestess, a major card. So the last week of December is important for you. This could be a week where you are dealing with female figures, a daughter, sister, single women, or if you're a male or female, this could be your ideal woman. This is somebody who is a researcher. So maybe you're involved in research, or there's a secretive element this week. There's something going on behind the scenes, something that hasn't yet been revealed yet. So this could be a week where you gain some kind of psychological insight. Maybe you're enlightened. You could be taking some time to look within, and that's important for you to do because you're highly intuitive this week. And this is a time for you to trust that inner voice. This could be a week that is influenced by past conditioning or early memories, or there's some hidden influence running throughout situations. For some of you, if you're female and you have been ill or dealing with surgery, or just illness, period, this could be a week where there's a focus on female issues and illnesses related to the reproductive system. This could be a week where you decide you're not going to get involved in something. This is very passive energy, receptive energy. There's a lot of knowledge and information, but it's an energy of taking things in, not necessarily putting out. And your emotions are going to be important this week. In fact, how you feel is really influencing the people around you, and they will be mirroring that emotion back to you. And your relationships with women are going to undergo some type of change in some way, whether they are personal or professional. So again, this is a week to rely on your intuition. Be careful of your emotions, your moods. Make sure you're not self-sabotaging by falling prey to your emotions. For some of you, there's a concern for your loved ones and your relationship to them. You want to protect those people, and maybe you're going out of your way to do that, and that's creating some challenges for you. So again, keep the emotions in check and be careful of the distinction between your intuition and your emotions. This is a week where there's going to be an opportunity that crosses your path, and you're going to have to listen to your inner voice to recognize the value of that opportunity, because it's going to, we know that nothing in life is free. And so whatever this is that's crossing your path this week, it comes with a price tag, and you'll have to look carefully about whether you want to pay that price. This card tells you that you should be careful about bending the rules in order to further your own ends, just to make a situation suit your purposes. And so maybe you're doing that in order to get rid of the competition, or to try to overcome some challenge, or maybe you want to confuse the people that you see as competitors. So this could be a week where you actually attract some intrigue or some difficulties, and more so than you're prepared to handle. Whatever the case for you, this is going to be a week of re-evaluation. Your relationships, your goals, your feelings, something you thought or believed. And so listening to your intuition, your higher self, is going to give you the clarity to make those decisions. This could be a week where it is time for you to act or start on something. Good timing is important this week, and so it may be necessary for you to take the initiative. So the underlying energy is this Page of Swords. So there's something new with regard to the way you are thinking or you are communicating. But this is going to be a month that focuses on the mental. And maybe you're trying to find something out, or someone is trying to find out something from you. There could be some secrets revealed. Maybe you are investigating something, or maybe you're working on something that's intellectual, some pursuit. This could have to do with young people. This is air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, male or female. And so there could be some issues this month where you're involved in some kind of negotiation, or you're trying to resolve some type of dispute, and you'll need to do that rationally, objectively, without allowing your emotions to override your decisions. Maybe you're on the defensive this week. It could be you're involved in situations where you're having to be very mentally quick, or you could be coming in contact with people who are calculating and not concerned about feelings. Whatever it is, there's the possibility for you this month that you're going to be meeting some new people, or either the people that you're involved with, you're going to become closer to those people or more estranged from them, depending on the way you think and the way you communicate and the way you relate to one another. For some of you, maybe after situations play out, you realize that you have come to some truths, and your interaction with another person brings about some clarity and some understanding that wasn't there previously. You could make some profound connections this month that really bring you closer together. But for some of you, this is going to be a month where there are some disappointments. There is a sense of being victimized or betrayed or disappointed or left out. And those situations are going to highlight the less appealing sides of another person, or the less noble traits that you see in someone else. And when you see these things, they're going to become a red flag to you, and possibly the final straw in something. So this is going to be a month where, your attachment to people or situations is going to rest largely on how you feel about what you're getting in return. Is it fair? Is it equitable? Am I being taken advantage of? And also, you're going to have situations that either test or reward your belief systems, your values, your understanding. And you're going to gain some insight, and you're possibly going to reach your objective this month, although, again, you probably face some setbacks, some obstacles, some delays. But ultimately, you're going to meet your goal, although your perspective about it is very likely to change. So for some of you, there's a decision being made that depends, that is involving your finances or how you feel mentally or physically. And you could be moving on from situations where you feel that you've been, again, betrayed or victimized or bottoming out. Maybe you have some legal issues, and maybe there are issues of a settlement. Maybe some of you are dealing with health issues where you're having to make some decisions, possibly surgery. And there could be issues of trying to find something out, some secret that is revealed. And when it comes out in the open, you gain some insight, and you may decide, either because of this information that is revealed, you become closer to this other person or in a relationship, or you decide you're going to move on. It's just not fulfilling for you. You have two swords, so there's a dilemma involved, and a difficulty and uncertainty in making a decision. And this there may be, again, issues of secrecy or trying to find something out. You may feel as if you don't have enough information to make this decision. And you're going to have to listen to your intuition in order to push forward and to decide what is in your best interest. And this is likely to be a situation where, you know, something small, little small situations, things that happen are going to trigger some bigger changes, and they're going to trigger some situations that were perhaps overdue, something that should have happened a long time ago. So there'll be challenges this month because the underlying energy is a sword. And so again, issues related to communication and the way that you are thinking. All right, Gemini, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I would greatly appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and kind comments. For those of you who've already offered your support, please know that I am grateful and committed to you. The more you engage with me, the more I enjoy what I do. I'm wishing you the warmest of holidays, and I look forward to speaking with you next month.